Good morning. My plan was to let everyone know Sunday morning slurring. And then I found link issues in the page and then all this nonsense I'm sitting around doing, and I'm running a bit late. What's the time? Better late than never, especially on a Sunday. So welcome to week 4. How are you going? Did you fill out your practice progress charts? How are you feeling with your playing? Are you feeling any benefits? I would love your feedback. Now, I am going to get this right today, and another thing I was going to set up before I started, but of course I just ran myself out of time, is hopefully it works today. Yesterday it cut off, but I don't think it was because of this. I want to be able to check comments, and I really need your feedback. If you're watching it live, I need your feedback. If you're watching it on Facebook, on YouTube, there we go. Right, so that's live. So, got a couple of people here ready to hook into some harmonic slurs on a Sunday morning or a Saturday evening in the US. So I'll just keep coming back here and checking for comments. So here we go. Let's get straight into it. What's the first thing we do? Soft, slow breath. There is never a day goes by where we do not start with this. It is the foundation of everything that the whole system's based on. Without the body's concert hall, without the air here, and without the instrument, you don't have a complete instrument. So the first thing we need to do is set it all up. Now, just a quick reminder, if you are watching across on Facebook, this page is at the Mystery to Mastery website.com/wihsc without the hashtag. And you can come along and use your digital practice progress charts. Now, again, I do this as my little panic session every day. Let's do another one. Good, we're streaming. Excellent, excellent. If you're watching there and you haven't used the charts are here. And they're digital ones, and they're very cool. And then click it twice to get rid of it. However, you need to be signed up. And it's free to sign up, but you need to have just the way the system works, you need to have a Mystery to Mastery, like the Largo Status, Windworks membership, because otherwise you'll fill out the charts here and it won't remember your progress, because you need to have the database collecting your stuff. The only way the database can collect your stuff, your progress, is by having your membership activated. So if you haven't done that yet, just go to wihsc/register. Quickly put your email address in. It'll bring you across here. Come to week 4. Time flies. Now, if you didn't see yesterday, I was talking about the profound impact that the first 3 weeks have had on my playing. I had a gig the night before last, and to sit there and feel the benefits of the expanded breath, the reminder of exactly what's going on, how much pressure we want to use naturally, instinctively, versus what we're working on here. Back off, back off, back off, back off, back off, back off. Give the instrument exactly what it needs, and no more. Lips interact with the air as if they're the vocal cords. So then, again, I know it's the start of every day, but I do it with every student, whether they're in the studio here or whether they're online. You've taken your breath, you've opened up the concert hall, If you haven't done your Largo status, we're way ahead here, so you're going to miss the point of a lot of it. So make sure, even though if you want to work through this week, I'm cool with that, but make sure you do your Largo status because you're going to miss out on heaps, right? Then here are your lungs. So when we breathe in, backswing, we fill the lungs up, and then if we fill the lungs up and hum, I'm not squeezing the balloon, the air's just coming out, and I'm going to repeat it every day. It's as much to remind myself as to teach everyone else or remind everyone else, or not everyone because a lot of people know it, but here it is, and all of a sudden equilibrium, and then we can keep using the abdominal muscles to squeeze the residual air out of the lungs. And have a listen to what it does to my voice. It's not particularly attractive. Then all of a sudden when I take a breath in, hey everybody, how you going? It's that. And if you can get the air into the lungs without any strain, just expansion, which is what we're working on every day here, you get your expansion, then passively recognize we can make a lot of sound passively when we know what to do here, right? And then what's the mantra? If you don't know the Windworks mantra, you're not ready for week 4. Go and do your Largo status and the first 3 weeks. I want the lips to interact with the air as if they're the vocal cords. And again, Sunday morning, been up, sitting at the computer for an hour, getting nonsense done, and trumpet has not been touched. But to demonstrate. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? I've got no, if I didn't touch my trumpet and you said sing me a middle C, there's no way. But as soon as I pick this up and think of this exercise, it's there, 95% of the time. Now, just so you know, this is set the whole time. And, I mean, you can try it, but I'm not giving it to you as an exercise, more a demonstration. The lips are set for the low C the entire time, regardless of whether I'm humming or singing. When I'm humming, I'm guiding the air through the nose. And then when I stop humming, I guide the air through the lips. So literally, when we're playing, the lips are playing the role of the vocal cords. I don't know of any better demonstration that we can use to get this point across. Boys, here's your mouth. Still set. So when I'm using my voice, the tongue's going up to the soft palate, sending the air through to the nose. There's nothing coming through the mouth. So that's the feeling that we want. So if you close your eyes, and I use the terms passive and active reduction. Passive is natural reduction of the elasticity and equalization of the air pressure. Passive is grabbed. That's your abdominal muscles pushing up on your, your diaphragm sits here, and the abdominal muscles underneath it, and you can flex them and push the diaphragm up to increase the pressure in the lungs. And at times we need to do that for long notes, loud notes in the upper register. But, and again, for those of you who just see this every day and you know it inside out, this is for those that don't. I'm preaching because it's Sunday morning. Anyway, 4 steps. How do we convert our how do we get that onto the instrument? 4 steps. Lower the jaw, let the body resonance out. Feel the feeling of freedom, of flow. We're drawing the corners in. Now if you close your eyes, you can use your teeth, your fingers, and go. All I want you to feel here, there's been a lot of talk. Now if I just go up here, my brain's going off. good night's sleep. Fighting Frustration, you need to watch that, is playing A Matter of Life or Death. All right. Now, the Fighting the Frustration, there's a bit of confusion about how far to purse the lips in when we're doing the ah-ooh. All I'm after here, and I'm going to say it till the day I die, all I'm after here is a recognition of no activation, ah-ooh. There's something going on. Ah-ooh. Put your fingers here. Ah-ooh. Put your fingers on your aperture corners. Ah-ooh. Ah-ooh. For new people. If you haven't seen this, you're jumping way ahead, but I'll show you anyway. Not the corners of the lips. Not the corners of the lips. The corners of where the air comes out. The corners of the aperture. That's the important part. So as soon as you've got that, when we start developing range, the psychology is inwards. But the confusion has been from a couple of people of going, and then the higher you go and trying to make a smaller hole by pushing the lips forward. That's not it. That's not it. All we're doing is learning about the aperture. Here's the aperture. Here's where the air comes out, right? Then that bit there, imagine it's just squeezing down at the sides, firming up there. That's going to change the velocity of the air through the aperture, which is then going to change the note that's triggered on the horn, the overtone that's that speaks. So once we've got the sensation of inward movement, and the fingers are to recognize that the jaw doesn't have to move. So if you close your eyes, recognize the jaw's not moving, therefore there is a horizontal movement inwards of the musculature. That's all I'm concerned about. If you've got any questions on this, now's the time. I will keep jumping across and let's see. Okay, if someone could write just hello, so I can see that the comments are working. This has been the bane of my existence doing this. And don't forget, I'm recording this. This is going on YouTube as well, so it's going to be around forever. But if you're live and you want to ask questions, go for it. Then the question, of course, is how do we get the mouthpiece onto the instrument? There's your airstream hitting the tissue. Place the rim over the top. I don't want the rim interfering or manipulating the lip tissue. It's very simple. I just want the corners set. And placing it over the top. I have them here, hundreds of them. Feel free to order one. Or just get one anywhere. I don't care. I don't like going to the post office. There's the feeling. Okay. Then, of course, if this is all new to you, you haven't seen it before, Largo status. Don't not do it. Don't not do it. Don't not do it. Here's the rim. Backswing. Open up the body's concert hall. That might be completely ridiculous for a lot of you. Doesn't matter. It works, and it's a way to unlock negative tension. We're reducing manipulation. The whole purpose of the harmonic slur challenge here, the only way to get better at your harmonic slurs, now this week we've got F sharp up to B, second valve, or E to A on trombone, which I'll be doing tomorrow. Mr. Quigley's coming again, so I'll be demonstrating my amazing trombone skills. Let's get into it. So for those of you that have been watching regularly, thank you. I know you'll be getting benefits from it. For everyone that's watching, there's a billion people that aren't. And in my opinion, they're missing out because this stuff is so easy and it just works so effectively well. So simple. So simple. But, of course, got to have the magnifying glass out. We've got to be looking for the negative tension, and this is what people have missed. The videos that have come in for this introductory challenge, there's not a similarity between the humming and the playing, but maybe by the end of the challenge there will be. It'll be interesting to see. Right, so I need to play a note for 60 seconds or for as long as I can. So at home, have you been doing a long tone? Really, really super duper 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 soft, making the lip interact with the smallest amount of air pressure possible for as long as possible. I use the breathing bag. Again, it's in the wind pack. I've got them here. The instructions for that are at the Mystery to Mastery site. I will find the link. Voldine. The best you can get I sell in the wind pack these things. They're nowhere near as good as this, but it's cheap. It does the job. If you haven't experienced the wind bag and this stuff, and you're serious about being a professional wind player or improving your playing, if you haven't experienced what the benefit from this, you are missing out. I discovered these. I was, Arnold Jacobs, but the breathing bag through a tuba player friend of mine. I'm only going on about it because it works, and I felt it the other night on this gig. That's all I can say about it. See how far I can get today. I want to get up to the 5,000. Oh, yep. I've been sort of averaging about 4.5. Yesterday was getting up to the 4,750, so we'll see. $500, and that was easy. So again, daily doing stuff, we become more aware of our physiology. We can start to let go of things. I did that easily, and we're back up to the 5. And I've been saying for the first 3 weeks, I wonder if by the end of week 5, I will be able to expand that, or because I'm getting a bit older, our lung capacity, vital capacity goes down as we get older, and I'm peaking out at 4.5 every day. I'm like, oh well, and there you go. Maybe, there's the learning process right there. Oh, now, did I see that this battery's almost flat? That'll be great. My metronomes are stuffed, and now my battery's going to be flat here. Hashtag preparation. Anyway, maybe there's enough to get us through. That'll be funny, won't it? Not funny. Funny, not funny. I'm going to start at 144. Where are you up to? What's your... If you knew, what speed can you do? Just say 16ths, harmonic slur, F to B flat. You can do 1 beat at 108 and you can't do 2. That's where you come back to. You can't do 1 beat at 112. You can do 1 beat at 108, but you can't do 2 or 4. That's what we're looking for. And then how long can you go for? Can you go for 60 seconds or longer? So let's say, I need to do my my long tone after all of that. So let's plug this in for a second. F sharp. Can you believe it's day 1 of week 4 already? How many people have come on the journey? I wonder if there's anyone on the planet who's done every day. I wonder if there's anyone on the planet who's done every single day. Tick the box every single day. I wonder. I'm going to have to find out. Rightio. So, in order to go for a really, really long note, 1, you have to play softly. And 2, we're going to lower the levels of the carbon dioxide in the brain. Okay, so that's called hyperventilating, but we're not going to go quite to that point. But to be able to go for longer and longer, we don't want to have too much oxygen. And of course, the carbon dioxide levels build up to a point where we need to breathe in. But if we can delay the build up of the carbon dioxide until right to the very end, we can play for longer. So, again, people will think that's psychotic, it's extreme. All I can say is when you get onto a gig and you clearly don't do what I just did then, you never want to do that. But what happened then? It's really annoying. I was about 2 seconds short of 1:20. You're never going to need to play a note for 1:20. But what have we learned here? From the start of week 1 through until now, that's improved about 30 seconds. Why? An awareness of the physiology, a repetition of expansion every single day, pushing our limits, pushing our boundaries. Now, if you're asthmatic, don't do that. Emptying the lungs is the worst thing you can do. It can trigger an asthma attack. But for those of you that have been watching regularly, 1:20, I'll call it 1:20, even though it's like 1:18, but that's crazy for a long tone. And what I'm not worried about the number. I'm worried about the improvement from week 1. That's all I'm interested in. That's the message of the whole challenge. Regular practice, regular focused practice at your limits will provide better results faster. Now, I can say it and people think I'm selling something. Sell. And they won't listen. I'm not selling anything. That's why I'm doing this and demonstrating it. Just prove that it works. Anyway, so now it is time to get on to harmonic slurs, which is the reason that we're all here. Another daily highlight. Who would have picked that first thing Sunday morning? And when I got to 40 or 50 seconds, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to make it. Then all of a sudden, this is important. The brain tells you you need to breathe because it's the habit of just breathing when it thinks it needs to breathe. But there's a lot more air in the lungs. So you've got to push through that. And throughout the note, you may have heard that it was cracking up at times. There is so little air moving, yet the lip still has to respond to it. And that's when I'm thinking, I'm not going to make it. I've got to pull the volume back because I started off a little bit loud. And when I'm just pulling back a little bit, even more, to the edge of zilch, nothing. And then the note stops. And that shows what we're working on. It's the response of the middle of the lip. The corners have to be perfectly set and not moving. And keeping the air really, really steady. Here we go. 144 is my starting point. And because it's day one, we go through and fill out every box. So for me, where are you up to? My moderate speed is 144, although yesterday I think I got a minute at 144. I can't quite remember because we fill out our charts and then we don't look at them. The whole purpose, again, if you're new, fill out your chart each week. After 5 weeks, you look back and go, what could I do in the first week? Profound improvement if you're prepared to take the challenge. One day people will realise. One day people will realise. You know, one day. So from 144 onwards, I do beat, 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 and I'll demonstrate. From 138 backwards, it's just see how long I can go for. So here we go, 144. I'm buying a new metronome tomorrow. In fact, I might do it after this. So I've done 1, 2, 4. Eight. Then we look at the clock. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. 15 seconds. 10. So now I'm just going to go for, see how long I can go for. So logic says if I can do a long note for 1:20, I can get a minute doing this. But it doesn't work out like that always. Why doesn't it work out? Let's discover it. So clearly I'm playing a lot louder and there's a lot more activation in the body. So I didn't quite get to the 5, so to the 10 is 30, so let's say 40 seconds. And after all, we don't want to break all of our blooming records on day one. We leave somewhere to go as the week progresses. And we don't want to spend hours on it. There's no point going back and going, I can get another 5 seconds or so. When we've got the whole chart to fill out. And again, you can choose to do just 2 boxes, 2 today. Too fast, too long. Or you can do every second box. I'm starting at, what did I start at last week? So maybe 116, I think. Oh, I can't remember. So anyway, I'm going to start to cancel a tick, click it again. I think I'll start at even 120 this week. 152. Because basically you just need to find what speed you can do for as long as you can and find out what your time limit is. And then from there, work on your speed. And the tick of the box is also used, have a little break in between each, attempt. Instrument off the chops, reset, air in. And I'm well aware that I didn't take it off my chops, but I'm just flying through for your purpose. Okay, so 5 is comfortable, so now I'm going to go into how long can I go for. So I just started to fall back on about the 30 mark. So let's go 30. Doot, 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 doot. Now let's go back to 138. See how long we can go for. Straight up. So we got to 50, and I think I got a message that the streaming cut out then. So I apologise for that. Nothing I can do about it. Yesterday I reset everything. I'm not going to do that anymore. Any questions, thoughts, criticisms, queries, stock market tips? I've got a stock market tip. Sell all of your stocks. Get out of the stock market. All right, looks like we're still streaming. This is good. Any comments? Feel free to ask any questions. No problem. Radio. 160. So I like, this way I'm just spreading both ways, just to mix it up. You can start from, what you think is a comfortable tempo for as long as you can go. Go through and find your 1 beat speed limit. So for the first few attempts at the faster tempo, I will just do it once, rest, and then go for the duration. And have a look at already. There's the gradient of how long we can go for. Have a little rest. 1, 2, 4. So 8's comfortable. So that would suggest 16 and 32 should be comfortable. What happens? Five seconds. Seconds. Logic says if you can do 5 and you can do 10, you can do 15. So I can feel just all the way through there that it wasn't in phase. It wasn't, it wasn't feeling terrific. So if we do our preparatory exercise, wah, 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 wah. What's that got to do with harmonic slurs? It's got to do with independent movement of the lip tissue, no engagement of the body. People get into a kick and uptight when they go to play harmonic slurs. When in actual fact, balloon, change in shape, no panic. Wah, wah, wah. So if we disengage the voice, and the movement's nowhere near as big as that, but if we can do that big movement, we can do smaller movements. And down to my lead pipe I dropped earlier. Same feeling. There's the feeling of the exercise. Nowhere near it. One more go. So we've got 10 and we can't get 15. That's okay. Let's go back to 138 and see if we can go for a minute yet. And if you really want to cut your time down, start at one tempo, just go, how long can I go for? Next tempo, how long can I go for? Next tempo, how long can I go for? It'll take you 15 minutes to fill out the chart. Doesn't take long. So that was 55. Would have loved to have got to 60, but I just ran out of air. There were times through it where I was playing too loudly and I tried to back it off and the sound kept going. There was a moment through there that made me, again, realise the tiniest amount of movement required to change this pitch. Now remember, from the low C versus the E flat, there is a distinct different shape between those, and that's why we're just going up step by step by step. Shut your eyes in between, check in. Is that what it feels like when I'm playing here? Remember, all we're doing is impacting the air in the pipe. We're not blowing through the instrument. I've said it a million times, and I'll say it another million times. We're not blowing through the instrument. We're energizing the air in the instrument. Most of the air gets lost to friction against the pipe. Then the second, is that right? Most to friction. Then there's 5% apparently. I didn't make this stuff up. Research it yourself. About 5% of the energy that we use is emitted in sound. Most is lost to the friction in the pipe, and the rest is keeping the sound wave alive. Or maybe, I don't know the amounts. It doesn't really matter. The psychology and the useful thing for us is about 5% of our energy is actually emitted in the sound vibration in the room. Most of it's lost to friction or just keeping the sound wave alive. So we're not blowing through. We're energizing the air in the pipe. So if we keep checking in, it's no harder to do than that. Apart from you got to sit up, you got to hold your instrument, you got to change your face, but it's no harder work. Sit there and hum. Check in. Are you keeping the body's concert hall open? There's no more work than that. There's no more work than that. There's no more work than that. Rightio, 168. Seconds, so I'll tick all those. 5 seconds. It sort of sped up and slowed down a little bit, but it was okay. 10. So that's not close. And the interesting thing there is I'm going in between being in control and then not being in control. And remember, the energy coming back from the pipe is messing around with the lips. And when it's in complete phase, you can feel it click each time. But if it's not in phase and the movement is sort of out of time, you just feel the interference at the oscillator, where we're aiming at getting just like a machine, just like a generator sitting in the corner. Let's see if I can get 10. Whoa, 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 whoa. Physically, it's easy to do, but we put all of the ingredients together. So it's there, but it's not there. And it's all about the control. As I can show you, I can do faster, but not for very long. But it's not in control. It's all about nailing the time. The time has to be controlled. There's no point it not being on the click, because it just shows that you're not in control of it, which is pointless. 1:26. So there's the minute. Interesting observation then, hadn't felt before. It's fun to be able to say that. An observation, something that I hadn't felt before. Right towards the very, very end, when I'm expired just about all of the air. So I'm not going to go any further back than that, 1:26. That shows, you know, I'm in control of the speed limit. And I'm in control of the time limit there. So I can get the minute. So let's focus on the speed now. The back of the tongue. Right at the back. When you're really, really out of air and everything's squeezing the last little bit out. I could feel the tongue coming up and coming up and coming up. That's when you can notice the role of the tongue in what we're doing. Fascinating. You'll discover it. 1:76. No, it's all a bit average today. 5 seconds. So I can't do 5 there. It's going to be a very quick run to the finish line here. 184. Some days you have changes in speed, recognition of what's going on. Other days, like today, 5,000, a minute 20. There it is, 184. I was going so well I had to start and listen to the metronome to make sure I wasn't cheating. Didn't quite get it. Oh, so that's 184. Flying now, getting... Oops. What's going on there? 192. One beat and 2 beats. Almost felt like it was right, but I'm not sure. Leave it just in case. 200. I've got 1 and 2. And if the camera's moving, it's because I'm tapping my foot to lock there, and I'm thinking, foot, 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 wow, 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 sending the attention there, switching off the attention. This is kind of along the Caruso approach. Disengage the conscious mind. Whoa, 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 leg, 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 count, 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 count. Proof in the... There it is. $208. There's a difference between F and F sharp to B. You'll feel it. 1 beat. Yeah, so 2 beats but not 4. There's the chart done. Look at that. There's the gradient right there. Come back every day. You spend 10 minutes on it. Really interesting. All I can do is say that I can feel the difference in my playing from doing it. It's cool. And if you stick with it, do it daily, you are going to get benefits. It's really hard to come back and do it every day. Who wants to get up on a Sunday morning? Everyone's gigging on a Saturday night. You've got to find time in the day. If you really want to make improvements to your playing, stick with the basics. What's the first thing? Open the concert hall. What does it feel like to sing? Lips interact with the air as if they're the vocal cords. I can't explain it any more than that. It's all about efficiency. I can be more efficient. There are people that can go way faster than me, people that can play for longer than me. So I'm just working on improving my skills. Why? Because for me it's a science project. I don't have any gigs coming up until November. Couldn't be happier. And I'm going away for 3 weeks at the end of September. I leave on the 1st of October. So we need to get our videos in. Let me just try something. If I cut you off, I apologise. Let's see what happened there. I might have messed everything up, or did I? Are we still streaming? That's all I'm just looking for, to see if I can see some comments, if there's any. Oh no, we're still streaming. That looks positive. Oh, hang on, are we? Maybe not. Oh, there we are. Live. No comment. That's okay. Cool. So, yes, I'm heading away 1st of October. So if you're in the challenge and you've submitted a video, you've got to make sure by the end of... And I'll be talking a lot more about it over the next couple of weeks. But by the end of week 5, even record yourself on week 5 on the last day and send me your videos, because I've got like 2 days to go through them and go, rightio, who's progressed the most. On that note, folks, thought for the day. Everything that I've been looking at, it is people struggling with the learning process, not actually understanding what's involved to make a deep change to the psychology. I'm going to do a video called Don't Dabble in Change. In other words, don't just have a little, just put the foot in. If you're going to make a change, it's a profound reprogramming of the mind. That leads the body. And the amount of work required to make a long, life-lasting change to the psychology takes repeated work, daily work. You've got to come back and keep doing it, recognise the sensation of it, understand it, and eventually the messages from here will change. Eventually. So that takes repetition if you want to make really good changes. And again, it's all about efficiency. Let's just, to finish off, my practicing. What attitude, what piece, what are you working on? What are you using as a means to feel the benefit of? Someone suggested in like week 1 I should have some etudes up. But yes, I totally agree, but I would prefer you have exercises or pieces that you're working on. Find something that you can use as a means to feel the benefit from what we're doing here in the piece that you're working on. So my little thing is, if you've been watching, this is a little snippet from the end of Carnival of Venice. Urban version, you'll know the one. Now doing that is literally this. There's no engagement of the body. There's no blow. That's why I want to get rid of the word blow the trumpet. I'm not blowing the trumpet. Blowing is like blowing the nose or blowing out candles. You can at times, but that's not how to play the trumpet efficiently. So if I can go and then go, so I could sit there all day long and do that. So why, when I get to this bit, it was almost there. Normally what would happen is I'd on the A. I can't double tongue it when I get there. It wasn't clean, but it was there. So there's a sign of improvement. Because what happens, instead of doing the harmonic slur, da-u-toka, my tongue gets involved and it chokes me up because I go taka, taka, and it's a trigger from way back, right? So I could go so work on the whole section slower. So that's one way of doing it. It's really funny. It's really funny. I love it because it's a demonstration of wiring taking over when clearly that was better, even though I played some wrong notes. It was kind of there. It was just kind of I wasn't in control of it, but it's getting better. Interesting. I will never play that in public. I did at a birthday party once, but there was alcohol involved, and it wasn't a performance. All right. If there's no questions, I am out of here. Let me just. I'm still experimenting with that. I think for the articulation challenge, I've got to find a way where I can have the comments coming up somewhere here. Anyway, happy weekend, everybody. Have a nice time, and see you. Okay, so tomorrow there's going to be a lesson at 10 a.m. Australian time with Greg Quigley on trombone, but day 2 of the challenge will be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Australian time. 7:30. I've got a student before that. Right, we must stick with the process. We've got 2 weeks to go. Who would have thought? Time flies when you're having slurring fun.